Everyone, this is Mike, and I'm here with Dan from Kayfabe6, and we are discussing the Triple H Sting match from WrestleMania 31 and the aftermath on Raw after Mania. So it was Sting's big debut, something I think a lot of us were just anticipating, but also I think a lot of us were assuming what the ending was going to be.
Yeah,
and we got
have.
quite the shockers. So
Yeah.
let's talk about the match at first.
Let's start with the entrances.
Entrances, yes.
Jesus Christ.
Well, for one, it was really tough to see Sting enter in broad daylight. I feel like that took a little bit away from the sort of mystique entrance of Sting.
And it's already rough having him come out to some really strange entrance music with like a random Oriental band helping doing the drums to it. It just did not make any sense to me.
I was just hoping
WWE has the rights to everything WCW. Just give the man the Crow soundtrack, like his Crow theme song.
So he comes out first, or did he come out second? He came out first.
He came out first,
and then Triple H comes out to this just
over the top Hollywood production
of
Terminator.
The Terminator Genesis movie. And then you almost would have thought he was the face coming into this match with the way they had him come out.
Like he made him out to be like a hero that destroyed the robots, you know, like it was so bad. Like you can tell he was boning the boss's daughter when he got that money. Or that was like, you've done well with NXT, have the amazing entrance you dream of.
And
so bad.
I don't even know how to...
It rubbed me the wrong way because it was Sting's first WrestleMania.
Yeah. He really should have came out second.
Yeah.
It's such a big deal to me, I guess, with that stuff. Like, that's the interest you're anticipating. You don't have that taken away by the heel coming out next. So, the match. We weren't sure how this match was going to be, and given the age of both these guys. But I was actually very impressed and happy to see that they went into that old school chain grappling style. Yeah. I thought it was really cool with the drop toe, with the, the head takedowns and just old school grappling. I really enjoyed it. I thought that match was
it's definitely a lost art. You know, not that many guys can really do that now.
I was curious who was going to call the match. So it was interesting watching the match again, which I did actually today when I had about...
You still had Triple H calling it? Or?
He was calling it the whole time, yeah. You could see him calling it the whole time with Sting and leading the match, which was good. And but there was too much little things that really bothered me. Sting looked great.
Yeah, no, Sting was
Triple H looked great.
Sting was in the best shape he's been in throughout his entire career.
They both performed incredibly. Let me just get that out of the way. They both performed incredible. Sting, the speed that Sting had in the ring, running off the ropes, I was shocked with. Don't think I said it during the match, but I was really shocked with just his overall energy. I'm surprised he had. I thought you'd see that slow pace, but you didn't. He was really...
Like I said, I followed him this whole time in NWA TNA, and... he definitely stepped it up for WrestleMania.
So the one thing that sort of bothered me in the match, well, obviously I was not really understanding that the crouch chops that Triple H kept doing, which ended up making sense why. Yeah. So the one thing that really bothered me a lot was just a moment where they had Sting essentially crawling to Triple H.
Yeah, and like groveling at his feet. Like,
what was that?
I don't know. It's every time anyone WCW comes to WWE, they just get that treatment, and it bugs the hell out of me.
And not just that, but what the hell was up with the commentating? JBL specifically. He was just crapping on WCW the whole time, saying what an embarrassment. And I guess I know he was healing it up, but Michael Cole, who's supposed to be the face announcer, he said some other stuff also, which I noticed watching today, stuff like what a huge embarrassment it would be if Triple H lost to Sting. They gave Sting no credit. JBL even went as far as saying that he was a D-leaguer now playing in the NBA.
Oh man,
which I just couldn't believe that they went that far, heel or not. Like, this is Sting. This is not some bum ass dude. Even if he was coming from the D-league, it doesn't make sense. Not the D-league. He was a star guy. Obviously, it was a big deal. So how are you gonna act like he wasn't any sort of competition, as if Triple H didn't have no crappy gimmicks when he was coming up? So I felt that part was almost I don't want to blame McMahon, but there was just way too much of that during the match.
It was that definite weird WWE, you were WCW stabs every single time.
So the crouch chops continued, and then eventually DX came out.
That caught me off guard, and it was only like it was on, like, the hindsight kicked in is going back to the introductions.
Yeah.
Where they were like, this match can only end via pinfall or submission.
Yeah.
No DQ, no count out. And that kind of, it stuck with me a little bit, but I didn't think it was going to go the way
where
it
did this
did.
come from? Yeah.
Yeah, like, so I was expecting maybe, like, okay, like, cool, the batter, the sledgehammer is going to come into play, but not two factions coming out to represent.
So at that moment, Billy Gunn, Road Dogg, Six, or X-Pac, all came out.
Yeah.
And Sting took them all out. Even did a cross body off the top to the outside, which
I
was surprised with.
That was wicked.
He did it great, and the guys did a great job protecting him too. Then at that point, when they got the upper hand, the NWO music plays. And out comes Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, and Hollywood Hogan.
Oh, man. And them walking out as slow as they were.
As opposed to running. I know, like, Sting's getting his ass.
And that just adds that WCW, WWE thing. Like, I'm sorry. Like, okay, they're older than the DX guys. Yeah. But when you're looking at the way the match was being written and the way, like, this whole WCW, WWE thing, it made WCW look bad. And it's if they wanted that to happen.
Yeah, because, I mean, NWO of all people helping Sting. Like, it wouldn't even make sense as even in kayfabe, them wanting to represent WCW because their whole point was to kill off WCW.
Yeah, exactly. They were counterculture. And then even when, at one point, Sting was a rival to the NWO, okay, granted, he joined the Wolfpack aspect of it, and then there was that whole weirdo mix that happened there.
I think it should have been a mixture of, like, DDP, Booker T, two guys that could have got easily, and then a surprise like Goldberg, I think. Like
it's true.
Like those three guys that were fighting for WCW. I think it should have been a mixture of those three. Even Flair.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean by bring in Flair, like, the guys they've already
because Flair, DDP, Booker T, they could have got easily. Yeah. And that would have made sense.
And they've already addressed, they addressed two of those three in the storyline so far. Right. Where they've had, like, Ric Flair come out and say, you know what I mean, Hunter, you have to take this guy seriously. Yeah. And then you have Booker T coming out giving Sting like, you have those two guys that got completely disrespected, not coming into like, they would have made more sense.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I was marking out like hell. It was great.
Oh yeah,
but now after watching the ending, it's just kind of when you think about it, you're just like, why the hell would those three guys come out to help Sting? But the thing I found kind of funny and also scary was actually Six taking out Hogan, and I think it was Billy Gunn that took out Nash, and Nash grabs his quad. Which looked like it was going to be quad jokes galore happening after that. And Hogan was down for a bit. But at that point now they helped Sting with taking the sledgehammer away from Triple H. Yeah. And then Sting gets Triple H in the Scorpion Deathlock and gets super kicked by Shawn Michaels.
Yeah. That caught me off guard.
I don't understand why all these guys were helping Triple H. There was nothing addressed between any of the two factions. There's no beef. I guess it's supposed to happen from... And even the night before the Hall of Fame, it made even less sense because he had Shawn Michaels and induct Kevin Nash, and himself even admitted Shawn himself said if there was no Kevin Nash, there'd be no NWO, there'd be no DX. Shawn says this.
Yeah.
Himself. So it's funny watching him come to the aid after against the NWO. They didn't even build that sort of tension, but
no, there was no consistency.
That's just a nitpicking part of all that. Bottom line, it was great to see all of them out there. Got the crowd very excited into the match, which is great. So I don't want it to come off like we're shitting on that. It was great. It's kind of funny when you think about it after. But the finish.
Oh god, the finish just.
This was the one match that I had no problem thinking it was going to be Sting, and I moved on from prediction from there.
Yeah.
It's his first match. If he's going to have another one, then great. It'll probably be a loss to Taker. If he doesn't, then he got his first match in his first
that was our huge talking point, that we were saying, you know what, Sting versus Taker would be cool, but you want Sting to win in his first match, and Triple H will be the guy to sell to, you know, to
put him over.
Do the job. Yeah.
So I don't understand. Like, I'm not a guy that's so... In the moment, it bothered me so much. And then a few days later, I'm just like, well, if Sting signed off on this, then why am I going to be mad? Like,
sure, yeah.
What do I care? He got paid $1 million to lose.
Yeah.
But I guess it's just funny because a lot of people go back to 2001, 2002, or 2003, whatever it was, that video of him explaining why he didn't go to WWE.
Yeah.
And he specifically mentions what they did with Booker T.
Yeah.
Where Booker looks at The Rock, and The Rock was just like, who are you? And Sting says, that's why I didn't go, because I wasn't sure how they were going to destroy my legacy or whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
And so the internet's been ripping it apart now. Like,
and I don't blame people that feel that way.
I agree too.
I mean, it's not that... I get it. It doesn't matter. Like, what... Sting doesn't care. He got his money and he's good to go. But for us, that, at least in kayfabe, was trying to figure out...
No, it's true. As a fan,
he actually went against everything that he said back in that video, which wasn't kayfabe.
Yeah.
Unless it was a 12-year build and we were all stupid. But
I don't know. There's no way anyone thinks
But it's funny to hear him say that and to see that finish. Yeah. Because...
and it wasn't even just the finish. Like, okay, Triple H winning dirty with like him going for the splash and hitting him with the sledgehammer. Typical Triple H move. You leave it open for a rematch, but the handshake. The handshake made no sense to me, especially with the whole, like, when you go back into the match of him like crawling at his feet.
Yeah.
The dirty finish, then the handshake. There's no respect to hitting a guy with a sledgehammer. That doesn't make any sense.
I don't understand what the book was closing it. And then again, you had JBL saying, "And WWE wins again" or something like that.
Yeah, that was the line.
Crapping on him, and it's just I hate it
so much.
I'm like, what the hell are they doing here? And then not even just that, but I can understand if Triple H did the handshake and they killed it off, like when Undertaker beat Triple H at Mania when Shawn was a guest ref.
Mm.
But Triple H comes out not even an hour later and dumps on Sting.
Yep.
As if that handshake never happened.
No, it's true. Like, completely craps on the guy. Like, okay, it seemed like I know they were trying to kill time between, for the sake of Bray because of the whole ankle thing, which we'll cover. But come on, like, you can't do one and then do the other. Like, there was no consistency.
And then the next night, Triple H isn't even on the show. Mm-hmm. Sting does his Raw exclusive. He says his 2 lines, and this is where everything gets really gray area.
Yeah.
Is the fact that all the reports came out that day that the WWE wasn't sure if they were going to do with Sting.
Yeah.
Going forward. And Sting comes out and does that post-Raw WWE Network exclusive with Renee, saying how whatever the WWE wants me to do, I'm going to grab. If WWE wants me to give, if the WWE puts out something there for me, I'll reach out and grab it, he says something like that. And it's like, that almost came like off like a full shoot, as if he didn't even know what the hell.
Yeah, I know. And the thing is, when there's such, like, when it's indecisive. Like, I heard about all that, like, the whole, they're not too sure, like, around maybe, like, 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning. And when I heard Sting's going to be on Raw, I was like, okay, cool. There's going to be a decision. It's going to be retire, or he's going to have one more match.
Yeah.
We're not sure. Like, why would you waste people's time? Like, I would be pretty annoyed if I, like, bought the network just for that moment, and then
I guess I'm just so confused because I'm not someone that feels like Sting should have one he was guaranteed to win. It just felt like a no-brainer. I didn't feel like all that WWE, WCW animosity was going to play a factor. I figured it was going to be...
I don't even know why that's relevant anymore. WCW is long gone.
They're gone. So what was the big
There's
deal about
no
him
need. Okay, the whole angle of he was WCW's last savior, and like he never went to WWE, the only guy to never do it. Okay, bring that stuff to add context to the storyline. But it's not about WCW versus WWE. Like that victory's been long gone.
Yeah. And that's what I don't understand. And again,
why even turn to that? And even then, when you look at compare the two, where Triple H, like, Sting has always been the top guy, whereas Triple H was in obscurity. So technically, these two becoming, like, Sarah, the battle between these two was just during the Monday Night Wars.
Well, McMahon even said it the next night in those reports.
What did he say?
He said, "We brought Sting out of obscurity."
Okay.
Yes, he said that line the next day. And I found that crazy. It's like, this guy just competed on WrestleMania for the first time. It's obviously not in any sort of worked way because McMahon's not even on the show. Yeah. So for him to say that, it felt like there was something deeper. And again, I don't know if we should even care because Sting probably doesn't give a crap. He's probably on the beach in Maui with his mills that he got.
Just swimming in his cash.
Actually, he went back to Texas, actually, because that's what we'll get to next. The pictures of him and Undertaker at the airport that leaked on Twitter. And obviously the reports came out also that, they were, a lot of the backstage talk between the two of them had to do with a match next year. That obviously had nothing to do with the finish yesterday, though, on Sunday, though.
Yeah, no, not at all.
I'm just curious as to if that's the last we see of Sting. I doubt it will. Maybe we'll get a SummerSlam match. I really would just like to know what the decision was behind that. I really hope that we end up finding out. Was it just a way to not have WCW get any sort of one up even in kayfabe?
But even if it did, like, it's not really that big of a deal.
It'd be a one and done. Yeah, I think if they did more damage having just Triple H go over. Like, I get it, he didn't win clean, sure, but him going over, the handshake, and then him crapping on the handshake not even an hour later.
Exactly. And you know what? If they did the handshake, left it alone, or even if it actually the handshake, screw that. The handshake completely pissed me off.
And I also get,
so many levels.
And then I get the other side. It's like Triple H is part of the Authority right now, who are the main heels. And Sting's not going to be on their show weekly, and he just beats Triple H. What do you do with that? He basically beat him, and nothing came out of it.
See, that's where I'm going to go with. My only thing is where I'm okay with Sting losing to Triple H is if they have Sting come back and it's like, you had to beat me with a sledgehammer, make it a proper match, and if you're so confident you can beat me, put the control of the WWE on the line.
But that wouldn't be something at Extreme Rules, though.
No. That's gonna be longer down the road.
He'd have to come back later and be like, you know what?
That would be SummerSlam, but that's the only way I can see this possibly making any sense.
Yeah, I mean the match was a lot of fun, I think, but sitting down really thinking about it for a few minutes or whatever, it's really strange.
Yeah, it's
how everything sort of tapered off. Like if they had done the handshake and called her today, and Triple H was off Raw the next day, they could have let that be, right? But they just went a different route with him countering what he had just done earlier in the show. But
yeah, like I said, it's if they don't have a definitive answer, why even bring it on the air?
Yeah,
they could have done this week coming up. They could have done it the week afterwards. You didn't have to do it right after Mania. Like, okay, like the fire's hot, but we were all very pissed off, and you just pissed people off even more.
But it was good to see Sting. It was kind of surreal seeing him in the ring for the first time. I kind of wish his makeup lasted a little longer, though.
Oh, yeah, that was terrible.
But
well, you see the same thing with Finn Balor. Like, his stuff comes off in, like, seconds. Like, whoever... Yeah, they need to... Like, the budget cuts. all for Triple H to have an amazing entrance. Definitely.
But we finally got to experience Sting in a WWE ring. And I think at the end of the day, that's really all that matters. And hopefully we'll see a couple more matches out of him, and maybe hopefully at least one more.
Yeah. But let's talk about that era. Do you think they might give Sting one more go and have him go against Undertaker next year, or no?
I'm certain of it. And I think he'll do the job, and that'll be that.
Just take his money and walk away.
I think Sting will be 0-2 in WrestleManias, 0-2 in the WWE.
That bugs me so much. But then it's like I just think about the money, and it's like, you know what, man, cool. You have your retirement fund, enjoy yourself. Like, and
that's what I'm saying. It's tough because on one side you're just like, well, he obviously doesn't care. What do I care? But at the same time, it's like you want some sort of consistency, or you just want the story to make sense, and that's all it is for me, right? I just want to know where they were going with this, which seems to be nowhere. He loses, and now he's off TV.
Yeah.
But, let us know what you guys think.
Absolutely.
I've seen
Jump in on Twitter with us.
I've seen a lot of different comments. A lot of people, feel like he shouldn't have really stood a chance to win. That at the end of the day, WWE won the war, and they should have won this match too. And others are disappointed like me in them having Sting's one and possibly only match with him, losing. And then the handshake, and then everything that happened afterwards. But, like, subscribe, comment, follow us on Twitter under kayfabe6, and we'll see you guys later.
See ya.